and usually make a general hash of intros, especially me. My name's Kaji. I'll be lead this evening, guiding us through an exploration of automotive curiosities, along with my co-hosts, Tam.
Hi there, hello.
Yes, don't get us picked on now. And Yotie. Just a little bit.
Most likely.
Yeah, just a touch. But yes.
Helped.
Buttons? Oh, buttons. I like buttons.
Push that one.
Push that one and see what it does.
Yeah, that one, the big one.
The big one. I don't know.
Starting again in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello.
Okay, that went well. Moving on.
Yeah, totally. But yes, this evening we're looking at a bunch of vehicles, some controversial, actually most controversial, and seeing if we would crush them or if we're crushing on them.
It's a fun little take on our kind of smasher pass trend that has gone around in previous, I don't know, half a year or so. But this time we're doing it with just weird cars.
The only problem with using Smash or Pass as the name for the format is Pass is the good one and Smash is the bad one.
Yeah, so that brings us to, I mean, it's just the entire game.
Yes.
You gotta crush it, or are we crushing
on it? We'll be showing you a bunch of cars and giving you our reactions, so without further ado, let's dig into it, because we're already a couple of minutes behind.
Yeah, a little bit, but just as kind of an editor's note here in putting this all together, except for maybe 2 or 3 pairs that are going to be in this, there's a lot of cars. They are in no particular order of year, make, model, style, nothing. I wanted to randomize this so much because I'm the only one who's seen the order, and I don't really remember what kind of order I put it in. But mostly I wanted to surprise these guys, so they're just getting a first blush reaction every time I flip that screen. Yes, giggle at me, it's well-deserved. So,
all right,
here we go, jumping on in. Let's just do it. We'll see if we can get to some other stuff later, but here's round number 1.
Oh
no. The collective groan is, Crush
it.
Crush it, and all the ones like it.
All the bits that should be metal are plastic, and all the bits that are metal are disappointing. Crush it. There is
I
one
expected nothing, and I'm still let down.
There is one redeeming feature about the entire car, and it's the rear door handles, and absolutely everything else should go in the bin.
I would have to agree with that. I'm going to go ahead and say crush it, because it should not be wearing a Jeep badge. Hands down.
No. They had the audacity to call that a Jeep.
Yeah.
Crush it.
Crush it. So we have a collective crush it on this thing, which is great.
That's one beer can.
So, yep, moving on. There's one for the scrap pile. Next up, the Subaru SVX.
Crushing on it hard. Oh.
It's weird.
These are a mixed bag
it's
for
funky.
me. But I'll still say crushing on it. There's a lot to love about these guys.
Yep. And
They're
never originally
so
came in
cool.
manual, but you can do a conversion because I know somebody who's done a couple of them. Yeah, crushing on it for sure.
We love the SVX.
Those weird windows, though, bro.
Weird windows and all.
Yeah. Moving along. I mean, this is just going to be it's rapid fire. We're just doing this thing.
Gross. What is that?
That is a Will VS. They were built for a little promotion that was done a while ago in Japan in the bubble era, where a whole bunch of manufacturers made products for the Will brand. Everything from home stereos to copy machines to refrigerators to sunglasses and also cars. There are 2 Wills. This is one. It was inspired by the cars you see in the background, little old French cars, including the Deux Chevaux, and of course, some of the 60s Renaults. And I like them a lot.
It's tragically ugly, but in a quirky and lovable way, and I don't want to crush it.
And it's Toyota reliable. Crushing on it. I love these.
No, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to stray from the herd here. I'm going to say crush it. Yes, you would win cars and coffee, but at what cost? Nobody would ever know what you're driving. You're going to be pulled over constantly. Crush it. Moving along. Oh, no. Okay, I'm going to jump in right away on this. I'm crushing on it. I don't care what people say. I don't care what the Corvette purists say. This thing is gorgeous. It sounds like a supercar. It acts like a supercar. It's the first time Corvette has stepped up on an international stage, and people have gone, huh.
Yep, I totally agree, and the only reason I chose it is because so many people hated it when they saw it was coming out.
The C8 Z06 with those big flared guards, the big flared inlets, and that flat plane crank, that's for me. Mm-hmm. Especially in Hugger Orange. Good God.
Ugh. And I dare you to find more car for the money.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Value proposition stop being a thing once you're over 150 grand. I'm sorry.
Well, this is under 100 grand. Well, I mean, Z06 is probably over 100 grand, but the base model is under 100 grand.
Yeah, like the Z06 is the one I'd have, though, because of that flat plane crank.
Yes.
I wouldn't say no to any of them, though.
Yeah, you'd have a riot even if you got the regular Stingray. So, yeah, crushing on it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Agreed. So, crushing on it. One for the bedroom wall poster. Here we go.
Oh, no. Oh, God. Crush it. I hate it. Nothing's in the right place. It's like looking at an old lady.
I am going to say this. Nothing is in the right place to look at, but that is one of the best cars to have. Let me walk you through why, okay? First things first, they are 3 seats across, front and back, and you have enough room to make it work. All 3 of the back seats and 2 of the front seats are removable. Those headlights up top, those are your high beams, so you get much better vision at night. Not to mention, visibility all around with those huge side windows is excellent. The fuel economy is fantastic because it has an extremely low coefficient of drag. These were the product of a really long development cycle, and frankly, I love them. Give me one of those as a daily and I'll replace my little van.
I could not walk out to that every morning and see that face when I open my garage. Crush it.
It strikes me as the kind of car that when you shut the doors on it, it sounds like a tin shed. I'm going to have to say crush it.
Not so. They are actually really quite solidly built. If you look around the door frames, you see how high they go up and in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's because they were one of the first of Fiat's cars to use high-strength steel. The doors thump shut. They are van loud.
Then I will call it, because I appreciate a good commuter. I mean, the interior just looks like I'm going to touch it and it's going to be sticky. It's like a Dodge Caravan. Something's about that. It reminds me of that. But I will say, if I get to drive one of these, I may change my opinion. Because...
Yeah. Oh, it's something you got to sample.
If you're a man that needs a van, that might be the thing. But... yeah, just as a commuter, as something where it's like, I have money and I need to buy a vehicle. That's not going to be it.
No.
I will be the only one, and that's fine. Let's roll on.
Moving on.
Hey.
I don't instantly hate it, but I also don't want it.
That's the new Sparta, yeah?
Yeah, that's one of the newest ones.
Yeah. I love Japanese vans, so I'm crushing on it. I'm going to be that weirdo.
Just because I know how many, and it's something that Japanese vans just tend to do, is that they are so comfort and passenger-centric for all of their little doodads and things that they have in there to make life just nicer.
And clever use of space.
Yes, I'm crushing on it, only because I know what's probably in there is more technologically advanced than is coming out in any of the minivans here today.
Oh, yeah. So, all 3. Let's rock on to the next one.
On we go. The
Via-Cross.
Isuzu Via-Cross.
I really like that. I'm crushing on it.
In Japan, the later they were the MU Via-Cross, I think, but they were still sold by Isuzu. Yeah, I'm a big fan of these. They are the best kind of bubble era dorky. I'm crushing on it.
Yeah, that is the thing. I have to say that it says 3.5 liter on the side, and it's clearly four-wheel drive. It's got a high clearance, and it's got very good exit angles, so I'm sure it's a little beast off-road, but that face is just kind of going, and I don't, I don't really know if I can get past the dorkiness of the front. But still, just because of its capabilities, I'm going to say crushing on it.
I love that face, though, just makes me imagine that every time you get into it, it's going, Gunbare!
Ah!
Let's do it! All right, let's rock on.
Crushing all three. All right.
Ooh! I love these.
What?
You don't know what it is? The colours
Volkswagen
around it might be a clue.
Well,
see,
obviously it's a Volkswagen.
V-Dub.
Yes, it is. But it's based off the exact same floor pan as both the T2 on the right and the T1 on the left. That is a Volkswagen Brasilia.
The car of Brazil.
Yes. They are a 5-seat hatch.
Just based on the fact that it's a hatch, I can't hate it.
It's a rear-engined, rear-wheel drive hatch.
I was going to say the lack of a grille and those vents on the sides tells me the engine's at the back. I'm here for it.
Yeah, crushing on it. I would absolutely drive one of those little adorable things around. It would be the most adorable little commuter ever.
And for those of you folks at home, look up the Volkswagen SP2 and then be sad that you won't be able to get one from Brazil cheap anymore. All right, let's move on.
Moving on.
The old PT loser.
The old TP Cruiser.
Just send all of them to the crusher.
Yeah, I thought we collectively decided to push all of these into the ocean. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, so...
Though, in my research, they're not in this slideshow, but I did find a couple that people managed to make them look kind of cool.
Yes.
But it took a lot of work.
Yes, they did come in a turbo variant, and that turbo variant did occasionally have a manual attached to it. But let me tell you, from driving some of these in dealerships, when I used to work for a DCJ dealership, they're terrible. Even in the turbo format, even with the stick shift is not notchy. You feel like you're going to break the linkages when you're putting it into gear. They're awful. Crush it. Get it out. Leave. Die.
Okay, so in Australia, when these were sold, they were marketed as a premium product, which meant they went to people who looked after them. As a result, the ones in Australia are in remarkably good condition, and they're not bad. I really hate to say it.
Nope.
Okay, go and do a timing belt, or have to do a water pump, and then tell me how you feel.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. It's still a front-wheel drive Chrysler product, so I'm kind of on the fence because it's a front-wheel drive Chrysler product. But if that had been built by, say, Diamond Star Motors and had Mitsubishi running gear, I'd have it.
Yeah, fair.
I hate to say it.
I appreciate what they were going for, but it's a swing I miss.
Yeah, I mean, and this one actually is one of the better looking examples I could find as a stock example. This isn't one of the ones that the Wingadingas got to and put the moon caps on and the fake paneling.
The wood paneling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, let's not dig into that. Anyway, I'll be the odd man out because I really do like these, and they're getting rare in my neck of the woods now, so...
Nah, man, this is still a buy here, pay here queen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not back home. Anyway, let's go.
Oh, I clicked off the... there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Ah, curveball.
Ooh, the Patrol in drag.
Yes. The monster. I say crush it. And not because it's a bad vehicle, but mostly because of the people who want and buy these things. Don't know how big they are and don't know how to frickin' drive them. Crush them.
The official car of Karen doing 110 down I-80, swerving through lanes while sipping a coffee and talking on her cell phone.
Now, here's the thing.
And tailgating you endlessly.
Oh, yeah, of course. Back home, these guys are bought by people who want to be comfortable while they tow horse trailers, but don't want to pay $140,000 for a fully optioned Land Cruiser. So I'm crushing on it. I want one used in a few years. tow shit with.
Nope, I want to take these away from the people that have them, crush them, and then kick the people that bought them in the shins for being bad drivers.
Agreed. So 2 crush, 1 keep.
Yes.
Moving along.
Rocket.
But
Yes, sir.
Oh, they're so gross.
I didn't understand just how big these damn things were.
yeah, they're
I
giant.
thought they were
enormous.
cool and small and neat looking, and then I saw one in person, and I'm like, why is this the size of a truck? And then I found out it's a truck.
Yep.
It's not a ute, it's a truck.
And the interior is so pathetically cheap and plastic fantastic. It's a real letdown.
And tiny. How does it have so much little interior space for how big it is?
Really, they made the body the important part because they wanted it to look good, and the passengers and driver were an afterthought.
Why didn't they base this off a Holden Ute and get something that not only handled better and was faster, but had more interior space?
Pontiac tried to, and then GM decided to kill them. We almost got the G8 sport truck. Almost.
Oh, no, I literally just meant, like, why didn't they go to someone who actually built something similar to what they were going for with this? But anyway, yeah, no. It's
Because they wanted the
Sorry.
front-end styling to look reminiscent of the 30s and 40s Chevrolets, or, yeah, some of the panel vans of old.
I'll show you some of the concepts that were actually done on a Commodore chassis later. Like, they could have done that. But anyway,
Any case.
Let's go on.
Crush it into tiny bits and watch the boomers weep.
I want the
Yeah.
engine.
I was to say, rip the engine out, crush the rest. Doesn't matter, doesn't need it. Moving on. Crush is a consensus. Get it out. The
RX-8.
cult of the Dorito.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
I'm
especially of the bad Dorito in this case. As this is
Yeah.
the ones that had the recall on it, where if they pulled your plugs and did a boroscope, and if they saw something in there that was like kind of, then you just got a new engine.
You know what? I'm keeping it because you can fix the motors in these, provided they're not worn out. And it's a rotary with 4 doors and seating for 4. What's not to like?
I don't like it because you followed up on the lineage of the FD3, which was arguably one of the most beautiful cars that ever existed, and you got that.
Yeah, you made something that was a look-alike ND Miata almost.
Well, yeah, they were aiming
With a
for,
bad engine.
they were aiming for a bit of brand similarity between the NC and the RX-8. It's true.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was the NC, not the ND. My mistake.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the one that
The
everybody
NC,
forgets
that
about.
one. Yes.
Which would have been another great one for this, but no. On this one, you know what? I'm crushing on it. There's something inside of me that says like that can be good. There is potential there for something.
Who doesn't
I don't know
want
what.
this Need for Speed Underground?
That may have actually saved it for me in part. I think I had one of these in that game. Moving right along, so we have Crush It and 2 Keep It's. Tam, I forget what your answer was.
Yep, crush them. I hate them.
Okay,
All right.
so
2
2
and 1.
crushing,
Alright, let's
1
go.
crush. Honda
Hey,
Inbox.
Inbox. I'm keeping it.
I
am
love the
crushing on
N-Box
these.
just for the mascot.
I thought you were going to say that.
Hilarious enough, I haven't even seen the mascot. But
Okay, it's a adorable border collie called Enkoro-kun.
okay, yeah, no, I have seen that one before. Then you guys have shown me those commercials. They're adorable.
Absolutely.
And I love K-Vans.
They
Yeah,
are
simply
probably
for the
most
fact that it is a
practical
K.
vehicle. Like, you've got space for a whole bunch of stuff. Like, you can literally put a full adult bicycle in this. The seat's folded down on one side. And it's got a 660cc engine.
It's a great city car. You can haul a whole bunch of stuff around. You can haul people around. It's really fuel efficient. Yeah, I'm crushing on it. I'm not a big like the face is a little halfway for me, but the functionality is what saves it.
It's tragically ugly, but I'd have it.
Yeah.
It's all in the butt, mate. All right.
Oh no.
Let's move on.
Moving on.
Ugh.
Hatred.
These
Ugh.
things are so weird.
It looks like a chic razor blade commercial put wheels on.
It looks like a midlife crisis on wheels, except they forgot one.
Looks like a fake sports car that was made by a graphics card manufacturer to advertise their products.
This is the thing you rent when you go on your once-a-year vacation down to Daytona Beach, and you want to cruise around in the afternoon for a while, so you rent this stupid thing.
Except you're 55 years old and you have no taste, so literally all people see is an old dude in some Ray-Bans.
Yep. And whenever I'm out on my bike and one of these idiots waves at me, I just shake my head.
Oh, you think you're one of us. No, honey, no.
You're not one of us.
I hate to say, but I do the same thing for the other three-wheelers that are out there, too. In any case.
Not all the three-wheelers for me, but anyway. Oh.
Gross.
These are homely.
Crush them all.
You know what? I'm crushing on it because it was the last of its platform, and I can still appreciate them. But don't get me wrong.
The last of its platform happened the year before in 1999 when the real Eclipse stopped being made.
This was the same platform.
Yeah, but it's ugly and heavy and gross and didn't even offer a turbo. They just gave you this bland V6.
Yeah, no, I know, but like I've got it. I really just got it. So yes, I'll take my L's, but I'm keeping it.
You can have it.
Okay.
Oh man, no, this is a really tough one for me. I don't have any brand loyalty to Mitsubishi, but just looking at it, you know, style wise, I'm kind of crushing on it. Driving wise, it may be an utter tank and a piece of junk, but style wise,
they're a bucket. You can fix them, but stock, they are a bucket.
Yeah.
All right, let's rock it.
So, as I mentioned before, some of these are done in pairs.
Even worse. They made it fatter, uglier, and heavier.
And it was also on a different platform. Yeah, crush it.
Yeah, see, once you get to this point, then the health and safety people have gotten too wild. You've removed all the fun out of it. Crush it.
So, you know how the Solara is a Camry?
Mm-hmm.
This is a Galant. Crush it.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. Moving on.
Baja!
Baja!
Oh, crushing on it so hard.
Crushing on it so bad.
I love everything about these.
I come from the land of Utes, so for me this is a... Yeah,
you have better options available to you. We don't.
I'm going to play my mulligan here and sit on the fence on this one. I like it because of the era of Subaru product, but that's the only reason I like it.
That's fair enough. That's absolutely true. But yeah, given like these still sell for $25,000 in the US right now because they're desirable and people want them. But yeah, so we have one mulligan, two crushing on it, moving right along. Super Brad is a total winner. Is that Brett? Baja, same
Super
shit.
Brat.
Baja.
Extended cab Brat.
There you go. Yeah. All right, let's go. Oh, the Mobilio, eh?
Yeah. I would say crushing on it only because it reminds me of the Matrix and that kind of style of like still family friendly, but it's a wagon-ish.
Considering it's basically a cooler fit shuttle, you know what? Crushing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. I would have that.
It's kind of like a better designed Mazda. What did they call it? The Mazda. It wasn't
MPV.
the 6. Yeah, it was some mid-range, like between the 3 and the not that quite
5,
a 6. So yeah, it was a Mazda 5. It was like that looks like
Mazda
a
5.
better designed Mazda 5. I'm into it.
Cool.
And it's a Honda, so it won't break.
Oh, yes.
The Previa, yes.
Complete, and you have to have it in the era where they had the whole UFO spaceship speedometer in the middle.
Okay, so the one that I would have out of this generation is the Japanese one with the supercharged inline 4 and the glass roof.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's definitely a crushing on it from me.
We got the supercharger here as well, but it was very uncommon.
Yeah, it was super rare. Yeah, no glass roof at all. Japan gets all the cool stuff.
Yeah, I like these just because they're weird.
Yeah, so precisely that. This is one of those where if you're driving it in regular traffic, you're going to blend in like nobody's business because nobody cares. But if you go to Cars and Coffee, you're going to have about 4 to 5 people who can see this and go like, oh my god, it's this. Is it the supercharged? And you're going to have very long conversations with those people.
And for those of you playing at home who...
Sorry, you go on.
Oh, yeah. For those of you playing at home who don't know, this Toyota Previa, they were unique because the engine is midship. It's underneath the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And at the same time, because it's a Toyota and has to be easy to service, instead of having a big latching panel you have to pull off just to get to the basic stuff, there's actually a drive shaft which powers the alternator, air conditioning compressor, and the power steering pump up front.
Yeah, so all that stuff is still accessible from the front little hood there.
Yeah.
But everything else is easy enough. You just slide the driver's seat back, and there's an access panel there, and you can get to your oil fill and all the other fun stuff.
Yeah, it's actually really easy to work on.
Yeah.
When I first encountered one of these, I was working in a quick lube bay, and I was so confused.
Yeah, same exact thing. One of these pulled in, I was like, wait, what the fuck? Okay.
A friend of mine had one, and he's like, you can do oil changes, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, the Toyota dealer quoted me $200. I'm like, it won't cost you that. Let's work it out. And then I did it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
Laying all the stuff down inside the car so you don't put any oil on the seats. Let's go.
Yep. So, triple crushing. Got it.
Damn, Skippy.
Gross.
Crush it. This is something between, you know what? Find a place to be. Find a place to be. Go get a quad cab Silverado, a single cab Silverado, or just go buy a frickin' Tahoe. Quit sitting in the middle and trying to make best of both worlds, because it's just gonna suck if you do that. Crush it.
Yep, and every single one of these that you see, the black cladding is all washed out and sun bleached and chalky, and because nobody takes care of them.
There's 2 that aren't very far from where I am right now, which are actually in really good shape, but these are not for me, and for all the reasons you mentioned. Like, there's better options. Crush it.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you look towards the back there where you see this little bit of plastic, that is removing so much usability out of that bed. Crush it.
Yeah.
Moving along. Get rid of them. Cube.
Ugh.
I love these. I'm crushing on it. The amount of space you get in the back, the easy accessibility, the fact that they're just a Nissan March engine, so parts are cheap. They're it in a bit. Excellent headlights, great handling, great brakes. It's all it for me.
But that asymmetrical styling, it's so weird with that wraparound window only on one side. Ugh.
Yes, the pillar's in a different spot on the other side.
You said that's so sultry. That was weird, man. It's on the other side. Oh,
yes.
You're going to have to figure it out.
You get 2 different cars at once. I'm crushing on it.
I'm going to play the fence here. For all the reasons Kaji said there. Yes, there's a lot of availability for parts. It's not a bad-looking thing from the front. And there are worse-looking econo cars out there. The only reason that it kind of makes me go like, I'm kind of on the side of crush it is simply because, 1, I'm not a real huge Nissan fan, and 2, I already know what it costs to get my back glass replaced, and that's just a single flat sheet. What happens when that curved rear glass decides to bust out? So I'm going to sit in the middle.
It out for you, but yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, you're playing your mulligan this round. Sam, where are you?
I would drive it if I had to. It doesn't offend me enough to say crush it, but wouldn't be my first choice. I'm going to sit on the fence as well.
2 mulligans in one car. You only get one.
That's fine by me. Everything else in here is a pretty easy crush or not.
I'm taking it.
All right.
Moving on.
The BB deck.
Uh-huh. Found one.
I love it.
I know.
Yes. Okay, so these guys were a Japan-specific variant of the Toyota BB, which was also sold as the Scion XB. The Scion XB being a pretty familiar sight on American roads, especially out west.
The rocket toaster.
The BB deck was only sold in Japan and had a weight-rated tailgate too, so you can actually put heavy stuff on it. I'm crushing on it. I love
Yeah,
these things.
crushing. Hardcore crushing on it.
They're so silly. The bed's useless, and I don't care. I want one anyway.
Yep. Just for the weird and cool factor, I'm there.
Yeah.
And Toyota reliability.
That too.
Oh, those roof rails are weight rated too, so you can tie stuff to them.
That
Perfect.
beautiful.
No one will ever do that in America, but okay.
Nope.
No,
I
but
would
anyway,
find something to tie on it.
probably a toolbox.
Probably.
You know,
Or a
TH
ladder
really.
that will definitely
Ooh.
crush every
So-
single one of these.
Okay, so like it looks tough, but you can't go off road. It's ridiculous gas mileage, with no redeeming features. It's expensive.
Just go buy a Tahoe.
It's expensive to buy. It's hard to maintain because of the silly hood. Crush it. Just please make it go away.
Just trade it in, crush it, and go buy a Tahoe.
The engine out of it's not even all that good.
Yeah. I even have a friend who drives one of these, and he actually does take it quasi off-roading. Like, he'll do fire roads and some of the easier pathways and BLM roads. He's got a rooftop tent on it. It's usable, but it's also silly. And yeah, why did you do that when you could have just gone and bought, I don't know, a Discovery or a Runner or Tacoma, any of the other, a Wrangler, any of the other.
It's a Chrysler product, but for the same price you'll pay for this, you could buy 2 Wranglers. Crush it.
Yeah.
And you won't look like you're having a midlife crisis.
No, you just look like you're angry with everything.
Yep. I'm saying crush it.
All right.
I mean, the H1 Hummer is a military vehicle. It was great for a military vehicle. It should not have been brought into the public space.
No, yeah, I agree. Let's rock on.
So initially I had thought that what Tim grabbed me, this yellow one, was a 3, which was the bigger brother. And I chose a 2, so I'm just going to skip past this next one because we've already decided to crush it. And I think if one H model gets crushed, then they all do. So
yeah, the 3 and the 2. Same
the
deal.
3, yeah,
In
no.
the bin.
That was a 2.
Yeah.
This is a 3. This
Yeah,
is
that
just
was
the
a
smaller,
2.
the baby brother.
And the fact that
And
you
they're
can't
still-
tell them apart at a glance is just dumb.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that Jeep didn't sue them for that grill design.
I'm surprised as well. I think the only reason they didn't is because they had licensed the Hummer name off AM General.
Most likely.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
All right.
it's getting crushed too. Goodbye.
In the bin. Let's go.
Hi, Walter White.
yes.
I am the one who knocks.
I want to like these so bad. There's a lot that's good about them, but I'm gonna crush it. The fact that this was such a failed product execution as well.
Yeah, the concept was way cooler than what ended up coming out. Which
They
we'll
did a lot
cover in a
to make
future
this
episode.
Cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
They did a lot
concepts
to
are
make
fun.
this cool. Like, it has a rollout storage box solution, which they're all gone, but it had them. You could get them bristling with sound system. You could have them with a tent in the back. They were really cool, but crush it.
Yeah.
And this is the more flattering look when they body matched all the body cladding. They paint matched all the body cladding. When they had the black or gray plasticky, they looked even worse.
Oh, it was so sad.
Yeah, it's
Especially considering then you could see how far it had strayed away from the concept. Because if they had have kept the concepts split between paint and body cladding, it would have looked good. But anyway, crush it.
yeah. I would say again, unless you're really just, I mean, again, we've probably, I think we've talked about it here before, that whomever was in charge of picking the vehicles for the show Breaking Bad was an utter and complete genius for what they chose.
Oh, for sure.
Picking this car for a high school chemistry teacher was spot the heck on.
Especially one who was trying to retain a little bit of his youth.
Yes.
It's
And
like-
just because of that show Breaking Bad, these things have suddenly developed an enthusiast cult following. So it's hard to say crush it.
I'm going to say it anyway.
Yeah, I'm definitely not crushing on it. I would not have one of these even if I had the opportunity. So yeah, I'm going to say crush it.
Crush it.
Moving on. Figaro.
Hey, the Figaro, one of Nissan's Pike cars.
Adorable
These
little
are-
thing. I'm crushing on it. I'm just going to say it right
Yeah.
now. I don't care how slow it
same.
is. It's adorable. It's got a cabriolet roof. I'm crushing on it.
They've got such a nice interior and they're so well made because they were close to hand built. Crushing on it.
Yep,
just
I'm crushing on it as well. I'd have it.
That
Beautiful.
gorgeous interior fit out and the fact that it's just such fun styling.
It really
all
is.
over
It
Crushing
harkens.
on it.
It's a newer car that harkens back to an older style. I absolutely love it.
And they did it well, and they did it before anyone else did. This
Yes.
dates back to the 1990s.
Yes. That along with another
Yeah,
car in our
nice.
selection. But
NX!
the NX
Hey.
models of Nissan, the funkiest headlights you've ever seen, for some reason in set that wasn't happening until the NC after it.
I'm crushing on it. I love these things. They're a nicely balanced car to drive. They've got a solid interior. They feel good. The fact that you could get them, as this example's got, with T-tops.
Yes.
That big practical hatch. If you're a young guy, these are all you need in a car. Crushing on it.
I'm going to say crushing on it simply for those same reasons. It is a small, two-door, available in manual, T-top, hatchback, SR20DE, very easily converted to a T. Yeah, these things are mad. I absolutely adore them for all their weird looks. I'm crushing on it so very hard.
I must implore anyone out there in internet land, though, if you're thinking about converting one of these to an SR20 VE, please consider doing an SR20 DET.
Yes,
Please
SR20
consider
DET,
doing an
just-
SR20 VE instead.
Yeah.
Get you some 8,500 RPM, 200 horsepower goodness.
And in something that's that tiny and that light, oh,
Who doesn't like Honda red lines?
Yeah, I wouldn't go out looking for one of these on purpose, but I wouldn't turn it away either. I'm crushing on it too.
It's like a Corrado, except it won't break down as much.
yeah, precisely.
Yeah, but the Corrado looked way cooler.
And
it's
debatable.
gorgeous.
All right,
I love the Corrado slammed roof line.
I chose this one for a reason. I like the Taurus. I hated the melted cheese round window era. Crushed all of them.
You know, I rode in more than a few of these as a youth in my time. And this one's right-hand drive, too. I didn't notice that until now.
It is.
It's one of the Japanese ones. It's
Yeah.
got the
And it's a
extra
20
reflector.
and it's a 24 valve at that.
Yep. The Japanese ones were all 24 valve. They got the same as we did. They only got the Mazda-based double overhead cam 24 valve engine.
Wait, and is that 2 rear windshield wipers? I only just noticed that.
No, that's just the one. Because the one has the one on the
that's-
bottom is the lift for the hand.
Yes.
Oh, that's a reflection. I'm sorry.
The one at
Yes.
the bottom, yeah, it's the lift for the but yeah, no, they had a like I said, the Japanese ones only got the climate control interior package, and they only got the 24 valve V6, same as Australian ones, except we
Yeah,
didn't
'cause-
get the wagon here.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
in this particular setup, this is the Catfish Taurus, which I kind of have a thing for those years. I do kind of like them. I'm not a huge Ford guy, but okay. But simply for the fact that it is a wagon, I'm going to say crushing on it. It's big, it's comfy. I would drive it across the U.S. in a heartbeat.
The nice part is you could also those particular ones, they had the full electric seat package. I can tell only because it's got the leather dash, which means it's a gear option pack. Except in Japan, they were just called the Plus, I think. Anyway, I'm crushing on it. I hate to say.
Wow, I'm the
I
only
like
one
the-
standing proudly in this camp. Okay.
No,
I
like-
like the generation before and after this one, but this particular the melted cheese weird rounded no, just crush it. I hate it.
I don't know why, but this is my favorite generation of Taurus. Something about the styling actually really appeals to me because although it's, don't get me wrong, it's very much 1990s soap bar styling, it's really well balanced. So yeah, I'm crushing on it. I like them. It's out there, yep. Revoke my car guy card. I like them.
I don't even know the two of you anymore.
All right, let's rock on to the next one before we cause a fight. Hey, the Cube Altec Rider.
Give me the Cube boy.
Yes, I like these ones even better than a standard Cube. So yeah, I'm crushing on it. You better believe it. Especially in the 7-seat configuration, the long configuration.
Wait, didn't we already cover the Cube?
This is a Cube 3, I think.
Yes.
The other one's a Cube 5.
Oh,
This is the Japanese only one. So you get the different nose, you get the different window setup, which should make you a little bit happier. And you get, nicer wheels, nicer door handles.
I quite like it.
and again, Japan gets all the cool stuff. I like it. I'd have it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm crushing on it.
Good. Easy win.
All right.
Crush it.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
just for those taillights, I hate it.
Yeah,
I
there's a
really
reason you sent me
like-
that picture in specific.
Yeah,
I really
love,
like the rear glass, but yeah, nah, crush it.
I love the Prius. Hate those taillights.
Don't
Yeah,
you
it's-
like the good times? Tell friends for the good times.
But pow!
The power.
Whoa.
I love this. It's another easy win for me. I'm saying I'm crushing on it.
It's a
Even-
pipe car too.
Even with another YouTube reviewer having one and kind of highlighting some of its inadequacies, especially on American roads, I would still delight in having this thing.
Did they have a power?
They did.
Who?
Regular.
I thought he only. Oh, okay.
No, that
Yeah,
was like one of the first cars that they gave away.
Yeah, that's right. No, my apologies. I confused myself. Yeah, no. I really like the power because it's got a few really cool features to it. Like they went a bit further in exploring retro cars with this. Like all the glass is flat. The rear windows are latch up. They're not slide back. They're not roll down. They are latch up like an old Mini.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, not a Mini. Mini.
Oh,
Clubman.
and the 2CV I think you're thinking of?
And yeah, the 2CV as well. Actually, come to
Yeah.
think of it.
And
but
the
yeah,
interior on this is so wonderfully simple. It is literally just, there's a gauge pod, it has a speedometer, there are lights for left and right, and then a couple of oopsie lights in case something goes really, really bad. That's it.
it's practically impossible to break off the mirrors because of the design they've used for the stand. There's no springs, no catches, no nothing. It's just like literally a pole. I love these cars because they're so simple. I'm crushing on it.
Yep.
Yep, it looks like fun. I'd have it.
All
Okay,
right, let's rock on.
moving right along then.
Yes.
If
Truly.
disappointment was a car.
Truly.
I'm going to counter some of that, but anyway, you gentlemen, please do put your input.
Okay, from personal experience with this thing, it looks cool. The interior, much like the SSR, it's like, we're going to design a cool car. Who's driving it is an afterthought. If you're over, I don't know, 5'9", 5'10", then you can just go screw yourself. You're not going to fit in this car. It's not for you. Also, notice how it has that big old badonkadonk hanging out back? There is zero trunk space. Literally nothing. You have enough to store the top, and that's maybe it. It's awful. No, I mean, styling-wise, looks-wise, that's probably like a B+. It's up there. It looks cool. It's unique. You have those exposed front suspension. Kind of neat. Practicality-wise, just it's not there, man. It's not there for me. Crush it.
My objection to this, and the reason I say crush it, is because it's such an overwhelming disappointment. It could have been so cool, but they shackled it up with this anorexic, wheezing, awful V6 and a terrible 4-speed automatic. And the interior's just awful quality. It's a classic example of cool concept, but swing and a miss. Crush it.
All right. Now, in saying that I am crushing on it, I will throw my cards on the table. The interior, look, I can't fault you. It is it's cheap and plasticky. As for the automatic, honestly, that was the market they were going after. They needed an auto, pretty much the only autos you could get that could handle the engine that was in it. For 4 speeds, 5-speed automatics were the domain of Mercedes-Benz, who even through the Daimler tie-up wouldn't let anyone else have them. But the engine. Everyone goes, oh, it's asthmatic. It made way more power than Dodge's V8 products at the time. I'm sorry. Everyone forgets that this was the V6 era. Everyone was leaning towards high-tech V6s to make power as opposed to V8s. None of the V8s were being looked at for renewal except for the general, who was hiding that information from everybody. And even then, they weren't thinking about. They literally tried to cancel the Corvette, which would have ended the LS program. Like the V6 was the performance motor of the time, and people forget that, which is understandable. Time changes. But yeah, no, this made way more power than any of the V8s Dodge had.
What's your verdict then?
I'm crushing on it. I love these things. I know they're shit, but I love them anyway.
Hey, that's what this is all about. We find those things where it's like, despite everything about this car, I like it.
And you
I'd like one in my
personally would
garage.
you would personally be crushed to death if you tried to fit in one.
Oh yeah, no, I'd love one in my garage. I didn't say I'd like to drive it.
It's fair. It's fair. Fair. Moving along. The Gremlin.
It is a bit of a gremlin.
I'm crushing on it because it's so ugly you can't not love it.
Yeah. I would say that's the thing. Despite how ugly it is, no matter what, you're still going to turn heads.
I like
It's a
it
nugget.
because it is really truly a nugget. I love
Absolutely.
these, and they are just it's such a huge swing and a miss, and I love it anyway. Crushing on it.
Yep, and they can still fit a V8.
Yes. They were initially designed for a different power plant, but we'll get into that some other time. All right, let's rock on.
Moving along. But
Porsche, stick to what you're good at. Crush them all.
the Panamera is as big as you ever should have gone.
Now, here's the
I
thing. if it
didn't
was...
include the Panamera because I didn't want to hear you guys say crush it.
Okay, now, I actually like the Panamera.
I almost did.
Now, the very first ones of these, if you'd put a first gen up, I'd have to say crushing on it because they had locking diffs all the way up. They had an excellent drivetrain. They were the only SUV you could get at the time with a drivetrain that was balanced to allow them to do the Autobahn suggested speed limit of 255 kilometers an hour. But this generation, this is just Porsche paying the bills, and I'm not here for it. Crush it.
Yeah, in fact, I think there was even, again, another automotive enthusiast show in the style of a certain BBC show that instead it's just a couple of American wankers. One of them, they did an off-road challenge, and one of them chose a Panamera, and it performed quite admirably. But I do think it was a first-gen. Beyond that, yeah, crush them.
Yeah, the first-gen Cayennes, not Panameras, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. But yeah, in the bin.
Crush!
And Porsche doing that opened the door for Lamborghini and Ferrari to do the thing that they did that we don't want to talk about.
Yeah, well, one, that's not our demographic, and two, who would spend that much money on a Urus, really? Moving on.
I saw one in Footscray, and I don't know why. The N-Box Slash. Wait, anyway.
I'm crushing on it hard. I love everything about it.
Yeah,
I'm crushing on it. I love these things.
That looks like it would be so much fun. You would be the fastest guy in the grocery store parking lot. After that, it's dubious, but man, you would whip around in there.
And you could park it in a motorcycle spot, probably.
Practically. Especially with some of the things that pass for motorbikes around here. Anyway.
Yeah, no kidding.
It would still look cooler than a slingshot.
Absolutely. Let's rock on. Yeah,
the Dakota convertible.
Absolute worst. Crush every single one of them, if any still exist.
There's not many
I'm
left.
sure not many of them still exist, considering how much water got into those sills.
Yeah.
But I want one of them anyway.
It was a convertible as an afterthought. It's, I'm sorry.
It was a convertible as the worst possible afterthought, yes.
Yes.
That looks like somebody at the factory had an accident and went, hang on, we can fix this.
We can do this.
Quick, send it to product evaluation. But yeah, no, I'll happily wear the L. I'm crushing on it. Sorry.
And again, that's what it's all about. Yeah. Just for the weird factor. For the weird factor and the fact that it is still a truck, a functional truck. You can use this as a truck. You can haul wood. You can haul things. I'm crushing on it.
Let me put it to you this way. I'm crushing on this for all the reasons I didn't crush on the SSR.
Yes. You have all the functionality. You still have the top down. But it's a truck.
What's left of my wind gets to whip around behind me. Let's move on.
The Aspen.
The has-been.
I hate that they use that name because I like the old Aspens, especially the RTs. Crush it.
Really. Yeah, crush it. It's a Dakota with, I mean, it's the definition of putting lipstick on a pig. Crush it.
Yep.
Swear like a pig, boy.
Hey, you were
But look at
trying to
that
be the
chrome.
Lincoln Blackwood and you failed. Get out.
The Lincoln Balsa Wood.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Oh, the Duke.
Ugh. Gross.
Okay.
Again, nothing's in the right place.
Caveat.
Rushing on it.
Caveat. The Juke Nismo?
Which
Crushing
that
on
is
it.
one.
Crushing on it. Because unexpected fast. Any other Juke? Crush them.
I will happily have any manual Duke there is. Very happily, and that's only because I'm a horrible manual purist. But,
Well, I admittedly do love manual. I'm desperately trying to seek for my next car to be a manual, even though I don't think it's going to be. But, yeah, just not a Nissan fanboy.
The interior on these, if you find one of the earlier ones especially, is actually quite nice. You've got the split back seats, the hump through the middle of it, kind of splits the interior nicely. The lights up top, it's kind of cool having indicator repeaters. You can see I really like them. I don't know how can I put it? There's a lot to like about them for me. So yeah, crushing on it. I'll take one as long as it's a manual.
Okay.
Especially if it's got quirky features like orange trim.
Fair enough. And again, because race car, I'll say crushing on it.
All right.
Specifically the Nismo, though.
I don't care how fast it is. I wouldn't be able to look at that face every morning.
This is
Lumina.
a face I couldn't look at.
Yeah.
Like, especially the
I don't know how
later
they looked at 'em
generations
new.
where they tried to make them look normal and they failed because the rest of the car is still pointy. In the bin.
Yeah, no, in the bin. Dustbuster vans are a no-go.
Yeah, if you bought this,
Weirdly
why didn't
enough,
you
if it
just
had
go
been-
buy an Astrovan?
Well, if it had been an earlier transport, I'd be in for it. But this, nah. In the bin. Crouch it.
Yeah, no, the fact that you can get an Astrovan in an all-wheel drive with a V6 or V8, I believe, yeah, this thing is pointless. Crush it.
All right.
Ah.
The Lagonda.
Yeah.
Aston Martin Lagonda. These things were a amazing piece of tech for their time. And that controversial styling, as much as it didn't do much for me up until about 5 years ago or so, it does for me now. I'm crushing on it. I'd have one of these.
Yeah, man,
Even
I'm
though
sorry,
I'd
but...
spend every second weekend in it with a soldering iron fixing it.
Yes. So just because it looks like it got teamed up on by the classroom bullies and had its face smashed down, like it was not. Imagine the opposite of an uppercut. That's what happened to this car. It came from the top and smashed it down. And given how tiny that grill is, with undoubtedly how huge of an engine it has, also means tons of cooling problems, no doubt.
Not really. It uses an air dam.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Yeah,
that and just Aston Martin. I mean, it's a little too quirky for me. And that...
Yeah, no, it's 1970s/1980s Aston Martin build quality, but it's absolutely rippling with technology. So yeah, oh boy.
Yeah.
And let me just tell you about British build quality.
Yes. If you have the time and the patience, I'm sure this is a crushing on it all day. Me, I'm just going to say, you know what? This is definitely, even of the cars that Aston Martin has built, this is probably on the low end of the spectrum for me. Crush it.
I'll send you a thing about that later on. But anyway, yes, let's move on.
The MRS.
The MRS. Or the MR2 in Japan, the third gen MR2.
Yep.
ZZW30 either way. Crushing on it. I love these little beasts. Just
there
not with
is
the automated manual that you all got.
Yeah, no, you need to be manual. It has to be an actual manual, proper manual. But yeah, I'd say crushing on it, especially because, again, you can buy one of these super duper cheap. The parts are relatively readily available for not only just maintaining but also upgrading, and they are surprisingly light and make surprising little track beasts.
Yeah, you get a 2ZN in them, good power plus upgradability. There's lots of upgrade options. So yeah, I'm all over it.
Yeah,
Platinum
I'd have
Toyota
one.
fanboy.
Looks like fun.
Free crushing on it. All right, let's rock up to the next one. Mark E. No longer a Mustang, just a Mark E now.
But it still has that mock
Oh.
moniker that's probably still pissing people off.
I own one. I'd crushing on one. I'm crushing on these.
Now, with all the offerings that are out there today in electric vehicles, I can't see myself buying one of these. Nah, crush it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Crushing it purely for the fact that they tried to pass it off as a Mustang.
Well,
I'm not quite that spiteful, but then again, I'm not a Ford guy. But
with
no,
that one in particular, being a Ford guy, no, that actually makes a lot of sense to me because the original Mustang was a secretary's car. Yeah, you heard me, boomers. Deal with it. All right, let's move on before the boomers all come and stab me with their capital letters. A thing.
I found
no,
a
a thing
thing
has happened.
Volkswagen Type 157, something like that.
something like
Anyway,
that.
yeah.
No, these are delightful, adorable, funky little things, and I'd absolutely have one.
Oh, you're gonna hate me. Go on, Sam. What's yours?
I can't love it. I know it's probably not fun to drive. It's not pretty to look at.
If they're
it's going
surprisingly
to
fun to drive because they're lighter than a Beetle. But anyway, go on.
If it's going to the crusher, I'm not going to reach a hand out to save it. Rest in peace.
The only reason why rest in pieces. The only reason why I'd stick it in the crusher myself is so many people tend to make it a copy of vehicles from a certain controversial army, shall we say?
Yeah, let's
wrong about that. We're not. I wasn't going to go there, but
moving on.
I'm just saying, yeah, no thanks. In the bin. Let's move on.
It needs to be a beach mobile, not a. We're moving on.
Oh look, if they mandated just painting them all yellow with blue stripes, I'd be up for it. Let's do that. Paint them all pink.
Oh, the
Let's do it.
Pacifica.
No, this is specific
Pacifica.
because it's the first gen Pacifica.
Pacifica.
The
So
later
the one
gens,
that's
the more
closest-
recent ones, are actually, they're not that bad. They're actually kind of smart looking. But these things, these are the bane of my existence, both as a service writer and as a reconditioning guy. These things were horrible. If they came in the shop, you were guaranteed at least 2 blown engine mounts. Crush them all day.
Okay, so they're already close to the crusher. Let's just give them a little.
And we're also talking about another buy here, pay here lot. Cool.
Oh, God, yes. All day. These things are... Whoa. And you know what? Guaranteed, if they came in on trade, you look at that back seat, and you're going to find a Cheerio somewhere. I don't care who detailed it.
Oh, and mountains of fossilized fries.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't it these days be a used vape?
Yeah, probably. But no, these things, they were absolute workhorses, but that did not save them from being pieces of junk. Crush it.
Crush it.
Yep.
All right, let's rock on.
The SC430,
Oh,
you're
No.
gonna hate me
aka
crushing
the
on it.
Toyota the Soarer.
These were also one of the earliest ones sold in Japan with a Lexus badge.
Yeah.
Crushing on it.
Nah, man. They're big, they're heavy, they're ugly, they're a disgrace to the Soarer name before it, and they're a disgrace to most Lexus products that come out that pretend to be sports cars. Crush it.
agreed. Crush it.
The original advertisements for the first V8 Soarers literally declared the car as being for mind cruising. This is one of the last production cars anywhere in the world to have a tape deck. They are just literally designed for top-down, listening to Bruce Springsteen off a cassette. Give me that all day, crushing on it.
Nah, see, it's for that exact reason. And also, if you look back to maybe not the most recent version prior to this, but especially the versions in the early 90s that we also called the SC300s and I forget the other SC that they were.
400.
SC400.
400, yes, the 300s and the 400s. The 300.
Those were brilliant.
2JZ turbos. Then you go to this thing.
Hold on. No. The United States did not get the 2JZ Turbo Soarer,
That's
and
fair.
in fact, we did not get the 1JZ Turbo Soarer either. There was no 2JZ Turbo Soarer, and most of them were optioned with a V8. The 1UZ was the most common engine. This has a 2UZ. It's the same car, except more reliable.
And uglier.
That yeah, crush it. Sorry.
All right. I'm crushing on it. Let's move on.
These
Rest
things
in
don't have to make
pieces.
sense. These are all personal opinion.
Oh, yes.
Hyundai Tiburon.
The Tiburon.
That particular generation is so god-awful ugly. Crush them all.
Yeah.
They really are an ugly beast, and I'm crushing on them.
No,
No, Kaji.
my man, I have personal experience story with this in that I had a friend who had one of these, and he's like, "Hey, my passenger window's not working. Can you help me repair it?" Like, yeah, sure. We can tear things apart and take a look at it. Tear the door card off. Oh yeah, the actuator or some of the lines in here are just messed up. We need to get you some new ones. Hey, Hyundai dealer, can I get one of these? Oh, you mean you need a door? Well, no, I just need the controls. I need the things that make the window do the do. Like, yeah, you need a door.
What?
Yeah, that's Hyundai of America. We didn't have such problems here, I must admit. I've heard horror stories about Hyundai rope-a-doping people on service costs, so I'm really not surprised. But
Yeah.
we didn't have, I keep saying here, I'm in the United States right now. But anyway, yeah, no, these cars I'm quite familiar with working on them. They're quite reliable for what they are. You give a P-play to one of these, he won't kill it. I'm crushing on it for that reason alone.
Given the fact that later generations, there are much better things out there in the same style of offering. Hyundai has made other cars in this same spirit since that are much, much better. Given the cost difference between an option later on down the line that's much better in this, sorry, crush it.
Yeah, the later generation Tiburons were actually pretty handsome looking things, but those ones, I just want to crush them all so I don't have to look at them anymore.
It's
looks
like
like a
they were
jumping
trying to
spider.
copy the Celica.
A
It
little.
looks like a jumping spider. Anyway, let's move
It
on.
kind of does, actually.
We're running late.
Element.
Oh, the Element.
Crushing on it because they were clever.
Crushing
That
on
was
it because you
very
can hose
clever.
the whole damn thing out.
Crushing on it because it has plastic body panels. Let's get on that. I want it.
Yeah,
Please.
I'm in for it. Make more. Honda, what are you doing now?
Honda,
Look at this.
Hey, make
hey.
a right-hand drive one. I
Let's
want
do
one,
it.
please.
Let's just bring
Make
it back.
an Marysville, send it to me.
We can
I
really do
want a
this.
new
We'll buy
Daily.
them.
Let's do this.
Promise. Moving on.
Just pack. What you do, Honda? What you do? Put a little lip on the bottom, and you call it a city crossover. Eh? Eh? Call it a city crossover. All the normies. Anyway, let's move on.
Moving on.
Hey, the Pacer wagon.
I'm crushing on it. It's so
I'm
funky
crushing on
and
it. I
so
love
weird.
these things. They're so bad. What I love is that they market them as the compact car but wide, as though that was appealing.
Yeah. No, 100% I would have hippie merchandise plastered all over this from the era, just to be ironic about it. Yep, 100% crushing on it.
I would get a tie-dye wrap. Crushing on it.
Oh my god, yes.
And I'm going to go against the grain and give it a miss. I don't like it. The proportions are
fine.
weird.
Admittedly,
Especially
they
if
are.
it's the regular Pacer and you don't have air conditioning. I can understand that.
Yeah.
All right, let's rock along.
Ugh.
Oh, the Volt, eh?
Newer ones.
Crushing on it because they were cool.
Yes. Newer ones
My
crushing on it.
problem-
Older ones, I don't know, man.
Now, I'm going to say crush it, and the only reason I'm saying crush it is they whiffed it
Yeah,
so hard.
It was such a
they did.
half-ass attempt at an EV.
It needed a
Like,
smaller
ugh.
fuel tank, it needed a bigger battery, it needed a smaller engine.
You know, this exactly describes to me, I know what happened in that boardroom. And it was kind of like, okay, guys, we need to make an EV. We need to make something really fuel efficient EV. And then just across the board, are you really? Come on, blah blah. Fine, okay. That's what this car is.
I reckon,
is
yeah, like,
begrudging
that happened-
acceptance.
That happened first, and then they got the prototypes out there, and they had, like, let's say, for the sake of argument, let's do a Ben Shapiro, let's say, a 1.4 liter engine, say, out of the Cruise, say. And the people at the other end of the boardroom, I don't think consumers will buy it unless it's got a 2-liter engine. They need a 2-liter engine. They won't buy it as a 2-liter engine. And that happened. And then they went about, fixing the battery in the floor pan. Oh, give it a bit more of a fuel tank. Need more of a fuel tank. And as a result, you ended
Kaji
up with
has
something.
feelings on this topic.
It's because it's such a stupid balance. It needed a smaller engine, it needed a slightly more powerful drive motor, and it needed a bigger battery and a smaller fuel tank. They got it all wrong. If you're going to make an electric vehicle which you supplement with petrol, do that. Because this was not that. This is a petrol car with a gimmick. Crush it.
I don't know. I kind of like them. They were just very poorly marketed and didn't catch on.
Well, they were very poorly designed, which is why I don't. Like, the idea is great. The technology is great. Serial hybrids, I'm in it all day. I mean, bloody hell, I run them. We have diesel electric trains. But yeah, they got the proportions wrong, so crush it. Especially considering it crushed the market for everything that came after it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I got feelings. Sorry.
A bit. Moving on.
Let's move on.
Oh, guy, crush it.
Yeah, just immediately crush it and everything about it.
I didn't even have to see that much.
One little
Oh.
thing. I'm going to qualify exactly one thing. There is one thing this electric truck does that no other electric truck does, and no Elon stands. I'm very sorry. It's not going to be what you think. They figured out that you can actually have a low nose because you don't have an engine. Apart from that, yeah, no, crush it.
Fair.
There's no other reason for it.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
and
only
an
truck that
interesting-
looks like it could be featured in Cyberpunk 2077. Get it out.
Oh, you know a fun thing? You know when this appeared? It happened not long after the creators of the low poly concept car did what they did. And they were hanging around with Elon. And then this happened.
We're all
Yeah,
shocked.
and I don't want to
know,
see
right?
these on the roads and have an existential crisis thinking all the textures haven't loaded yet.
Why
There's that
hasn't
too.
the high poly model popped in?
Oh god, we're still loading. I thought my connection
Well,
was better than this. This is
for
the
what
real
it's
life.
worth. All Cybertruck orders outside the United States have already been refunded, and it just happens that all of those countries have much more robust consumer protection laws than the US does. So I'd say they're probably going to crush this one.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, crush it. It's just it's
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
Goodbye.
Let's go.
Just go buy a
Well,
Rivian or an
we-
F-150 Lightning.
We already know
something
that the
that
bulletproof
could fly.
glass won't hold up to the crusher.
Yeah, that was great. Because bulletproof means swinging bloody mass-proof totes. Anyway, let's move on.
The original
The original Mini.
Austin.
Crushing on it hard.
Yeah, all right.
It's
you
one of
give me
those that
one-
if you love it, you absolutely you tend to go from the yeah, I would absolutely have it to all the way to loving it. There's no middle ground where most people are kind of like, it's a car. You'll either absolutely hate it because it's so small and stupid. How can you even fit in it? It doesn't make sense. Or you have the people that are on the other opposite end of like, I love it. I would have 100 of these. Get the out of my garage if you don't like it.
I'm one of those middle people who's kind of rare because I love it, but at the same time, just how big of a pop icon it became prevented it from ever getting a successor. And the entire time it was being built, it was costing BMC money. So yeah, like, I'm crushing on it, but only so I don't have to crush it because it's too iconic to crush.
Fair enough. I would say I'm crushing on it simply because there's actually, here's me showing some of my fanboy side. There is another car enthusiast program from your neck of the woods, Kaji, that has done some pretty amusing things with one of these.
Yes.
So for that reason, for the ability to be like, yeah, no, it's not just what you see here, but it can be much, much more as well, and be something, it's a plucky little thing. I'm going to say I'm crushing on it.
Let's rock on to the next one. We are so over time.
Yes, we are. It's okay. We're getting close to the end.
Oh, the 4.2.
Yes.
A late 4.2, in fact.
Yeah, specifically the late 4.2.
You know what? That particular one is the first generation where you could get a real manual gearbox. It's the first one where you had 4 stud wheels, so you could actually change the wheels to something else if you liked. It retained the plastic body panels. It got a tighter turning circle. Crushing on it. Give me one. I want one, please.
I just can't get there.
I'm going to send these all to the crusher strictly for every dingus that's ever parked sideways in a parking spot. Look what I can do.
But they're making room for motorcycles.
Crush it with them in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to side on the crushing it. And you know what? If it were the earlier models, ironically, the earlier models had an automatic transmission, but weirdly enough, it was kind of like Aston Martin did with it. Still had a throwout bearing and all this other stuff, so the shifting was very weird. But I liked the looks better. For this one, the thing that kills me, and the reason I'm crushing it, is because of the looks. Look at the gigantic headlights. It's a small car. You don't need the gigantic shocked eyes looking at you from every direction. And
Well,
it also
you
looks like
probably-
it's smiling, which small things that look like they're smiling just annoy me, and I want to crush it.
They needed that for lighting code things. But
Yeah,
anyway.
as well.
I was gonna say that's probably a code thing, but
Yeah.
I love small
Build a better
city
car.
cars. I love small city cars, just not those.
I'm going
Correct.
to put you in one day and make you regret your words. Let's go.
I dare
Oh,
you.
no, that's the end.
That's the
That's
end.
the end.
The
Ooh,
smart was the
okay.
last.
And that is the last smart.
Yes. Well, I had no transition slide between our game and the end of our deal here, so shall we start our process of winding things down and getting out of here, gentlemen?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're hanging around, we'd like to thank you for watching with us today, enjoying our company. We've enjoyed yours. And if you'd like to leave any comments, if you happen to be watching this on YouTube or in the chat, if you're with us on Twitch, do feel free. And thank you very much for being with us another day. I'd like to apologize slightly for my audio quality. I'm on tour, so to speak, so I didn't have the opportunity to pack a big mic. But yeah, thank you for your patience with our technical difficulties earlier. And if there's anything my co-host would like to say.
Tam?
Yeah, quick Triumph update.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yes, I got contact from them recently, and they found the issue right away, or what they think is the issue. The fuel hose from the pump to the rail is attached with 2 quick disconnect fittings on each end.
Mhm.
And he said as soon as he lifted the tank, it fell off.
Oh, huh.
So he pushed it back on, it clicked, and then he gave it a light nudge, and it fell off again. So while it wasn't leaking externally and physically couldn't pop off with the tank down because of how things are routed under there, he believes it's sucking air and interrupting fuel flow.
Aha.
Yeah, that'll do it. All it takes is a minor evacuation of a minor incursion, I should say, of air to ruin your fuel pressure too.
Yeah.
Yep. So a new hose is on order from the land of tea and biscuits and is 2 weeks out. So my riding season is effectively over.
That is
Yeah.
both a shame and a good thing, because the other option for not finding a loose quick disconnect fitting is
Being on fire.
well, I was going to say you wouldn't have to worry about being cold.
That's true in the most unfortunate and kind of hilarious ways.
Yes.
But I am a little bit annoyed that it's already been in the shop and that issue got overlooked, even though they were in there. So
That's an easy
Confidence
one to miss,
level?
though, to be fair.
is it though?
Yes, because if you're looking for that sort of thing, you might assume that someone else has just left it off, push it back on in order to test it, and then not realize that that was the problem. With stuff like quick disconnect fittings especially, if it's a loose hose clamp, the problem is easily visible. So I'm personally willing to give them a pass, but also it's not my bike.
It doesn't do wonders for my confidence. Let's just say that. But
I do have a minor update as well, come to think of it. You might have heard me mention, I'm in the United States, so I'm going to be working on my cars. But apart from that, it's about it.
Yeah, no, we're saving that update for a later time when we can actually really have some fun and get a big
Yeah, there'll
update out of
actually
you.
be an update, yes.
Yeah. I have no automotive updates. Not really.
Boo.
I
your
am
Forerunner
being
continues
tempted.
being annoyingly reliable.
Yes, it continues being the tank that it is, and even at $4.20 something per gallon, I put in $58 this past week, and it got me almost a 3/4 of a tank. So,
Oof.
yeah. Welcome to my world. But aside from that, no, it's still absolutely running like a top, and all of my fixes from last year are doing fine, because last year about this time or a little bit later, I replaced the blower motor as well as the blower motor resistor. The blower motor resistor did okay, but the blower motor itself kind of had a bit of a finagling, and it was a Rock Auto part. Let's just put it that way. So I now only have one fan speed, so I'm not sure if it's the regulator or the kind of chintzy sort of fan motor that I put in there. And I also don't care because it still has heat. That's about it.
If the only fan speed you've got is full speed, it's your resistor pack. Because the resistor pack is bypassed at full speed.
Yeah, I think that's full speed, but I don't know. I can't tell because none of the buttons work. And again, it has heat. Right now, that's all I really care about. That's why I have a volume knob. If the thing is too loud and windy, you turn up the volume.
Yes. And what was that about temptation?
Yes. Well,
Workflex limited.
Well, I mean, there's that temptation too, because they're immediately affordable and stupid fast. Even
They are.
given from somebody, a friend of mine who worked at a Ford dealership here locally that's just down the street. He's like, oh yeah, I remember when those came in, the limiteds, right? Yeah, those things had twin turbos. You would just be cruising along and look down and all of a sudden realize you're doing a $110 on the highway. Oh, okay. That's pretty promising then, actually.
Yes, you'll touch the throttle and it'll make a tiny noise that you won't really notice, and suddenly you'll have flashing lights come up from behind.
Yes. So that's still a temptation, of course. But other temptations are that there is a particular fox who may be sitting 2 seats down from me on this podcast right now. About the guy that's in there in the middle of the screen, the one with the glasses.
Who could that be?
I had no idea. Honestly, no idea. But this man apparently has an older 73 Dart that he's not paying attention to, wants to see it stay in the family, and has kind of given me the chance to maybe take up the mantle on it. And aside from the dollary dues in hand to make the transfer, I'm kind of in for it. So we may see. There may be an old 2-door Dodge Mopar product in my future, my first one.
Being as it's a Swinger special, you can open all the windows, or at least that's what I hear.
Yeah, I mean, goodness, yeah, you wouldn't know unless you were the one who had it, of course.
No, yeah, absolutely not. Anyway,
but
we should probably close out.
Yeah, we should
taking up
move
a bunch of time again.
A bit.
Par for the course, I think.
Yeah.
Now that we've gone through all of our individual items, we'd like to thank our artist Yotie, who came up with our podcast logo. Their card's up on screen. If you'd like to give them a poke on the socials, do say that we sent you, because we appreciate them for their help.
Absolutely. Even though I've got this down in a slideshow format, that logo, that thing that they created for us, is still my computer, my PC background as well. I absolutely love the design.
Just nice and clean and quick.
Yes.
Key word there. Oh boy.
And as always, a
Our
big,
music is provided by Walking
thank
Dog
you.
Music, and thank you so much for making so much good music available for creators like us. Everything from chill hop to lo-fi. There's so many different genres that they've explored into. They're available on Spotify, Apple Music, and I've spotted them on Amazon Music as well. And they have a live mix up on YouTube if you'd like to just have something to listen to in the background and not have to worry about songs.
And with that, I think we have ended things out. That is everything we have for this evening. It's been a delightful fun. We have made quite a lot of scrap metal, but we've also expanded our garages way beyond their capacity.
I've got so many cars to find room for now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to build another pole barn.
Where am I going to put the... Oh, man.
Well, you have the Fiat to worry about, unlike the rest of us, I think.
It's okay. The Fiat can just be the daily. That can park on the street. The only problem is, where am I going to put the Prowler that no one's going to find it?
No one will steal it because nobody wants it.
That's okay, though. Everyone's going to stand around it drinking beer and going, oh, yeah, they used to make a car.
That's all it is. It's just yard art.
Yeah, especially if it's purple.
Yeah.
But, yes, thank you once again for your company this evening, and we look forward to seeing you again. Do feel free to like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you're on YouTube. Otherwise, feel free to follow us on Twitch. We broadcast every week, with some exceptions. Sunday in the evenings at this point, although that is prone to change. We'll make sure you know in advance.
Absolutely.
And with
Anytime.
that, a good night from us, and we hope to see you next week.
See y'all next time.
Good night.
Bye bye.